will be the last to leave. I won't say a word, just let you breathe. I won't make a sound.
Introduction. What can a single day reveal about a person's life? Park Tae-won's A Day in the Life of Kubo the Novelist follows no dramatic plot. Nothing extraordinary happens. A young novelist leaves home in the morning, wanders through colonial Seoul, meets a few acquaintances, rides streetcars, visits cafes, and returns home late at night. Yet beneath this seemingly ordinary day lies the portrait of an entire generation. Published in 1934, the novel is one of the finest achievements of Korean literary modernism. Like James Joyce's Ulysses, it transforms a single ordinary day into a journey through memory, consciousness, and the hidden anxieties of modern life. But Kubo's journey is ultimately not about the city itself. It is about a man searching for a place in life.
Kubo finally reaches the corner of a bridge, where his purposeful stride comes to a stop. Where should he go? Everywhere seemed to be a place he could go, yet there was not a single place that truly belonged to him. Standing in the middle of the busy street, Kubo is suddenly seized by a violent headache. Though he still sleeps well and eats heartily, he realizes that it must be nervous exhaustion.
This quiet moment introduces the central question of the novel. Kubo is not simply looking for another street to walk down. He is searching for direction, purpose, and a place where he truly belongs. Nearly a century later, many readers still recognize this feeling. One, a modernist journey through consciousness. Unlike traditional novels, A Day in the Life of Kubo the Novelist contains almost no conventional plot. Its movement comes not from events, but from the flow of consciousness. As Kubo walks through Seoul, the present continually dissolves into memory. Memory gives way to imagination. Imagination returns to reality. Past and present, observation and fantasy, recollection and experience merge into a single, uninterrupted current. This montage-like structure gives the novel its distinctive rhythm. Although written in the third person, the narration rarely leaves Kubo's mind. Readers experience the city almost entirely through his consciousness, making the narrative feel remarkably intimate. The streets matter less than the mind that wanders through them.
Kubo suddenly decides to walk again. Remaining motionless beside the bridge now seems strangely meaningless. He turns toward the Jongno intersection, though he has no business there whatsoever. He heads that way for no better reason than that his right foot happened to step slightly to the left. A man suddenly crosses in front of him. Mistakenly thinking they are about to collide, Kubo stops in alarm. The next moment, he quietly curses his own eyesight, unable to trust it even in the bright light of day.
Nothing remarkable happens, and yet everything happens. The smallest accident, a passing stranger, or a random decision can trigger another chain of memories and reflections. External events are merely sparks. The real drama unfolds within Kubo's mind. That is why this novel feels strikingly modern even today. Its subject is not action, but consciousness itself. 2. A young intellectual under colonial rule. Kubo is a novelist, yet his writing provides neither financial security nor confidence about the future. He has no secure profession, no regular income, and little confidence about the future. His literary ambitions remain alive, but reality presses against them every day. At home, his aging mother worries about one thing above all else. When will her son finally marry? Her concern is more than a mother's private anxiety. It reflects the uncertain lives of many educated young people in colonial Korea, caught between intellectual aspirations and economic hardship.
As she quietly resumes her sewing, Kubo's mother wonders where her son goes every day. Her 26-year-old son has neither a steady job nor a wife. To an aging mother, he's become a constant source of worry. Once he leaves the house, he rarely returns before late at night. Whenever she brings up marriage, Kubo gives the same answer. How can I support a wife when I don't even have enough money to support myself? His mother sighs. Even a modest salaried job would be enough for the two of you to get by. But instead of looking for a steady job, he spends his days reading, writing, and wandering the streets until late at night. To his mother, the sight of him is both heartbreaking and exasperating.
Kubo's conflict is therefore not simply personal. He belongs to a generation that received a modern education, yet found few opportunities to build a stable future under colonial rule. His uncertainty is shared by countless young intellectuals of his time. Unlike many novels about writers, A Day in the Life of Kubo the Novelist does not place literature at the center of its story. Writers, books, and literary conversations appear throughout the novel, but they remain part of Kubo's everyday world rather than its main subject. Instead, the novel continually returns to a more universal question. How does a person live when he feels that he belongs nowhere, not fully to society, not to work, and not even to the future he once imagined?
A young couple waits for the elevator with their little child. Soon they will go upstairs and enjoy lunch together. For a brief moment, Kubo almost looks down on them. Then he changes his mind and silently blesses them instead. As he leaves the building, he wonders where he himself might find happiness. Standing alone in the safety zone, he watches people waiting for the streetcar. Whether they are happy or not, he cannot know. But one thing is certain, every one of them has somewhere to go. The streetcar arrives, people get on, others get off. Kubo remains standing where he is. Only when he sees everyone else leaving does he suddenly feel the full weight of his loneliness. At the last moment, he runs and jumps onto the moving streetcar.
This is one of the novel's most quietly powerful scenes. Kubo is not simply boarding a streetcar. For one fleeting moment, he refuses to be the only person left behind. (3) Women and the Life That Never Happened. As Kubo wanders through Seoul, one pattern quietly emerges. Again and again, his thoughts return to women. His mother's hopes for his marriage, young women passing on the street, a woman he once met through an arranged introduction, the older sister of a childhood friend, women sitting across from him on the streetcar, elegant women in cafes, passing strangers who awaken forgotten memories. These are not romantic adventures. Rather, each encounter reminds Kubo of a life that might have been. Love, marriage, companionship, even ordinary domestic happiness remain just beyond his reach. For Kubo, women become less the objects of desire than symbols of an unlived future.
A chance meeting awakens memories that had never truly disappeared. As Kubo rides the streetcar, he suddenly notices a young woman he met through an arranged introduction a year earlier. For a fleeting moment, his imagination begins to wander. Will their eyes meet? Should he greet her? Would she even remember him? Before he can decide, she quietly steps off the streetcar. Perhaps the happiness he had searched for so desperately disappeared forever with her. Perhaps she had once carried the happiness she wished to offer him, hoping only that he would open his heart and come closer. Why had he not been just a little bolder? One by one, Kubo recalls everything beautiful about her. Then another thought quietly follows. Might there still be someone, somewhere, who could bring him happiness?
This is not simply nostalgia for a lost romance. It is regret for a life left unlived. The woman herself matters less than the possibility she once represented.
On another streetcar, a young woman sits opposite him, holding a parasol between her knees. Somewhere, Kubo once read that this was a sign she was no longer a virgin. His thoughts drift from idle observation to quiet self-reflection. Would a man who observes women so critically ever be capable of making one truly happy? Or could a woman, perhaps, make him happy instead? One after another, he thinks of every woman he has ever known. Then, without realizing it, he lets out a quiet sigh. For Kubo, every passing encounter opens another path into memory.
The city is filled with strangers, yet each stranger somehow leads him back to himself. "4. Walking through the modern city. For Kubo, Seoul is more than a backdrop. The city itself becomes a living presence. Its crowded streets, cafes, department stores, streetcars, bookstores, theaters, and parks constantly interrupt his thoughts, sending his mind in unexpected directions. Every encounter, however trivial, awakens another memory. Every street corner opens another path into reflection. The city does not merely surround Kubo, it shapes the rhythm of his consciousness.
A small white dog appears in front of him. "Come here," Kubo calls softly. The little dog glances at him for a brief moment, then quietly walks away. Without knowing why, Kubo feels strangely disappointed. Even a passing dog seems to have somewhere to go. Only he remains without a destination.
For an ordinary passerby, this moment would mean almost nothing. For Kubo, it becomes another reminder of his own solitude. Even the smallest encounter carries emotional weight.
The cafe is filled with cigarette smoke, quiet conversations, and the sound of teacups. Young writers, artists, and intellectuals gather here, exchanging ideas from Europe and Japan while dreaming of literature and modern life. Among the books on the table are James Joyce's Ulysses, Stendhal, Akutagawa Ryunosuke, and All Quiet on the Western Front. Literature is everywhere around Kubo, yet it never silences the quiet uncertainty within him.
The cafes of 1930s Seoul were more than places to drink coffee. They were spaces where modern Korean literature encountered the wider world. European modernism, Japanese literature, and Korean writers all met within these conversations. Yet even here, surrounded by books and ideas, Kubo continues searching for something literature alone cannot give him.
Kubo remembers a tanka by the Japanese poet Ishikawa Takuboku. Everyone has a home. They return to it as though entering a grave. The poem lingers in his mind long after the words are gone.
Even in the midst of literary conversation, the ordinary noises of the city quietly intrude. Everyday life never stops calling Kubo back.
A child's cry rises from the street outside. It is unmistakably a cry, yet it sounds less like a human child than the voice of some wounded animal. His friend continues his animated discussion of James Joyce's Ulysses, but Kubo can scarcely pay attention. Who, he wonders, has brought another wretched child into the world? For a moment, the cry seems like the voice of an angry god, condemning the sins of those people, especially the man, and cursing them without end. His friend is still enthusiastically discussing Ulysses. At last, Kubo interrupts. "We should certainly respect James Joyce's new experiment," he says, "but novelty alone is no reason to value a work too highly." Before his friend can object, Kubo rises, taps him on the back, and says, "Come, let's go." Outside, evening has fallen. For a moment, the street seems unusually clear and pure. Kubo turns to his friend. "Where shall we go now?"
The quotation is brief, yet profoundly revealing. Kubo does not merely remember literature. He experiences literature as another language through which he understands his own loneliness. For him, books are not an escape from reality. They are mirrors reflecting it. 5. An ordinary day, a quiet change. By the end of the day, Kubo has not escaped reality. He has simply learned to see it differently. He never discovers a dramatic truth. He finds neither love nor success. Something within him has quietly begun to change. Late that night, after hours of wandering, conversations, and drinks with friends, Kubo finally begins his walk home. It is nearly 2 in the morning.
"Tomorrow. From tomorrow on, I'll stay home. I'll write." "Write a good novel," his friend says sincerely. "I will write a truly good novel," Kubo silently promises himself.
Nothing extraordinary has happened. Modern life is rarely transformed by spectacular events. Instead, it is shaped by countless passing moments, faces in the crowd, forgotten memories, chance encounters, unfinished conversations, and quiet decisions that reveal themselves only at the end of the day.
Now Kubo finds himself thinking less about his own happiness than about his mother's. Perhaps, if she speaks of marriage again, he will no longer turn her wishes away so easily. He quickens his pace, making his way home through the softly falling rain.
Nearly a century has passed since Tae-won wrote this novel. The cafes have changed. The streetcars have disappeared. The city has grown beyond anything Kubo could have imagined. Yet one quiet question still remains. Where do I truly belong? That is why A Day in the Life of Kubo the Novelist remains one of the great achievements of Korean modernism. Not because it tells an extraordinary story, but because it reveals the extraordinary depth hidden within an ordinary day.
Red and gold paint the sky. And as far as I